block on the administration's buyout offer for federal employees while he considers whether the offer is legal. More than 2 million federal employees faced.
And good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show, the video live stream on Facebook and YouTube. And we do this every weekday morning, and I always forget to push at least one button. I should probably have like a flight status checklist.
That would be good. That would be good.
Right? Just something like that.
Something that we use on a regular basis.
Yeah, I bet. Because so we've got a lot to unpack today. And I have to admit, I've got a couple of drones. So I was totally geeked out when you agreed to come onto the show. And so thank you very much. We appreciate it. I've got Matt Quinn in the studio. He's the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company, and Haley Carpenter, who's the director of Starlight Operations. I bet you do other stuff too.
Oh yeah, lots of other stuff.
But they're here in the studio this hour to just basically share what it is they do. And we've read about you, we've written about you. We keep an eye on you to see everything that you're doing. You help with everything from emergency rescue operations to agriculture to entertainment. And so, to me, it's an exciting field of what you do.
Well, and to us, it's an exciting field because, I mean, just in the amount of time that we've been in operations and everything, the technology's changed.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on I believe our 6th generation of drones that we utilize for the Drone Light Show and everything.
Wow.
And on the public safety side, when we first started doing everything, there wasn't drones with like thermal technology that was readily available to first responders or to the public or anything and stuff. And I remember one of the first searches that we helped with way back in like 2017. It was basically a cell phone that had a little FLIR thermal attached to the back of it that was zip tied onto a drone.
Oh my gosh.
And you were basically FaceTiming the screen of the phone back to another phone on the ground.
Stitch it together and make it work.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. And so now today they come all in one.
Yeah. Now today, I mean, there's a lot of agencies in Southwest Michigan utilize drones and thermal technology and everything and stuff for public safety. And there's a company in Ohio that's really big in like deer recovery.
Oh.
And in Michigan, you can't do that.
Oh.
You can't use a drone to any part of what DNR determines as taking of a drone.
Right.
But Ohio allows it. So he built a whole business around it.
Wow. That makes a lot of sense, because if you've ever hunted deer and you accidentally wing one instead of getting the whole thing down in one shot, they're looking for survival, they're looking to hide from you, and in your tracking, let's be honest, most of us, our tracking skills are not that great.
Right.
I can barely find my car key sometimes. So all right, we'll put a pin in that. We'll talk about that and more. I'll get your backgrounds as well, because we love to introduce people who may not know you already. So we'll get that in just a moment. We've got some news to get to. We'll do our local news. We'll cover weather, and we'll have sports as well. But we'll have the whole interview right here on the WSJM Morning Show. So we'll have that. We'll be right back in just a moment. I'm Ken Lundberg. It is WSJM.
Tag, 14 feet long, 1,600 pounds. I'm Brian Clark, ABC News.
Offer not valid in all states or where prohibited by law. Loans are subject to lender approval. See website for details.
Honey, the credit card bill came, and we're maxed out.
Maxed out cards, rent is due. We just need some extra cash to help us get by.
Maybe we should go to 27cash.com.
With our bad credit?
27cash.com is one of the largest personal loan networks. They can help people with any type of credit get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And good morning. Welcome back to the WSJM Morning Show on your Tuesday, February 11th. I'm Ken Lundberg. It is the WSJM Morning Show, and we have studio guests this hour, as we normally do. We're hearing from Community Voices. Today, we're hearing from Matt Quinn and Haley Carpenter. Matt is the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company, and Haley is the director of Starlight Operations. What is all that? Well, we'll tell you in a few minutes right here on the WSJM Morning Show. So tune in for that either here on the radio, on the live stream app that we have for WSJM, or you can go to Facebook or YouTube and watch the video live stream, which is in effect right now. For today, we have, 21 degrees out in Benton Harbor. Temperature in St. Joseph is 23 degrees. South Haven, it's 22 degrees. Clouds moving through, and it's supposed to be a mostly cloudy sky today. 20% chance of snow flurries, a high around 30. Northeast winds are going to be light, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight's forecast, mostly cloudy, a low around 22. Northeast winds 5 to 10. And then tomorrow, that's the messy one. Tomorrow's going to be mostly cloudy, an 80% chance of snow in the afternoon. Sometime after 1 o'clock, that's when we have our winter storm watch in effect for Berrien and Cass counties. So the 80% chance of snow in the afternoon, mixing with freezing rain at times, especially in the south part of the counties. High around 27, east winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. So it's going to be a little bit messy and dicey tomorrow afternoon. The forecast for Thursday, mostly cloudy, a 30% chance of snow showers, and a high around 25. Some of the news that we are following in the WSJM newsroom today, some of the news we want to inform you about. With the warmer temperatures on the horizon, crews are getting ready for road construction season, and the Berrien County Road Department is gearing up to begin some work in Baroda, which will include a bridge replacement project. The department's Adri Boone tells us the replacement of a bridge on Hollywood Road is set to start on Monday, February 24th.
They're going to first work to remove the existing bridge and then work to install the new bridge, and that's Hollywood Road at the Big Feather Drains.
Barring any delays, that road closure will be in place until the end of May. So it's starting on the 24th of this month, and it'll go to the end of May that part of the road will be closed. There will be a detour directing traffic to take Lincoln Road to Lincoln Avenue to Hinchman Road. The Berrien County Suicide Prevention Coalition has received a boost from the Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors. Mary Kuchar is a volunteer with the Berrien County Suicide Prevention Coalition and also an associate of the Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors. She tells us when the Realtors held their annual holiday lunch and fundraising auction this year, they opted to support the coalition with the proceeds. Kuchar says as suicides have risen in Berrien County, it's more important than ever to offer people help. She says that's what Berrien County Suicide Prevention Coalition is all about.
They promote the 988 yard sign, which is a national suicide crisis lifeline for anybody considering taking their lives or anyone who's dealing, how to help somebody that they fear maybe. So the coalition pours a lot of money into that. And I think the Realtor Association really saw that and thought, yeah, we definitely want to support this because mental health is getting more and more important to have a focus on it.
Kuchar says the Southwestern Michigan Association of Realtors auction raised a total of $15,647. Half of that went to the Berrien County Suicide Prevention Coalition. The other half went to Will Help Foundation. She says the coalition will use the donations to continue spreading the word about mental health support services and promoting 988 as the suicide crisis line. In 2023, suicides were up 33% in Berrien County. If you or anyone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, call 988 to be connected with help. The energy provider to portions of Van Buren County is helping to pay utility bills for some who can't afford it. Consumers Energy has pledged $5 million to help those who can't otherwise afford the high cost of heat this winter. Spokesman Brian Wheeler tells us with the cold snap over the last month, the company knows many people are struggling financially. The $5 million will be distributed through 5 regional nonprofits.
We really want people to be aware that help is available right now. If you call 211, that is a free resource that can connect you with these and other nonprofits. There are lots of dollars that are available to help people with their winter heating bills right this time of year.
Wheeler says Consumers Energy want to make it easier. They want to make it easier for people to get that help, and they remind those looking for utility assistance to call 211 to find out what is available to them. And finally, the South Haven Historical Association will hold a presentation tonight on the role that Southwest Michigan played helping slaves escape to freedom before the Civil War. The association will welcome Dr. Fred Johnson III for Undaunted by the Storms, African Americans along the lakeshore at Hartman School in South Haven at 7 o'clock this evening. Dr. Johnson is an award-winning speaker and professor of history at Hope College. His area of expertise is 19th century United States history with a focus on the Civil War. He'll talk about Southwest Michigan's role during the Civil War and Reconstruction as it witnessed political and socioeconomic change for Black and white Michiganders. Tonight's presentation is free and open to the public. We have more information about that at our website, WSJM.com. It's 7:11. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Our interview begins right now on the video live stream with Matt Quinn, owner of Great Lakes Drone Company, and Haley Carpenter, the director of Starlight Operations. Anything and everything about a drone service you want to know, and I think you'll be surprised. We'll talk about it in just a moment, actually starting right now on the video live stream here on WSJM.
College basketball tonight. Number 7 Purdue is at number 2.
Okay, and we're live on the video live stream. Good morning and welcome again to the studios. Matt, when the first thing that you thought when I reached out to talk to you, did you think you were coming into the studios?
Honestly, like when you first called and everything and stuff, usually every couple of years we do tower inspections for you guys.
Yeah.
So at first, when I first got the message, I was like, oh yeah, it's about that time that we got to do another tower inspection for them. So
yeah, because we have big old radio towers, and I don't know. I guess before, if you wanted to inspect your tower, you had to send a guy up there to climb the thing. Now it's a little bit easier.
Oh yeah, now it's a lot easier, especially with like just some of the tech. You know, a lot of people don't realize that, there's a lot of fear mongering with drones, obviously, especially with like New Jersey and everything and stuff. But from a safety standpoint, I mean, we can take one of our drones off here and we can read license plates over at Silver Beach. With
and we're not close to Silver Beach. I mean,
no, we're not close.
We're like Beach. 3 or 4 miles away or something.
Yep.
Wow.
So, being able to go up and look at a tower and, stay a decent distance away from interference and everything and the guy wires and everything else, and being able to zoom in and read serial numbers on parts and everything and stuff on the tower, makes it a lot quicker and a lot safer that you don't have somebody that's up there climbing, 300 feet up into the sky. So,
yeah. Can they change light bulbs yet?
No. They can't.
Are we close?
I wouldn't put it past somebody trying sooner or later, though.
Yeah. I mean, because that's one of the things is you think about every tower you see, and it's got lights all over it. Somebody's got to change those lights. They're durable. They're better than your off the shelf.
And look, and the people that do that get paid very well.
They do. Yeah. Yes. I think the old rumor was they have private jets and they just go around the country. It's probably true. It's probably true. But we're here to talk about drones. And so Matt and Haley, good morning, Haley. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm gonna let's see. I'm stalling for time here because we've got a commercial and then we'll come back to the broadcast on the radio and the video live stream. At that point, I'll ask you each to introduce yourselves. But maybe just give a quick overview of what you do as director of Starlight Operations.
Okay. So I basically assist with every drone show that we have for Starlight. So basically having an overview of what it takes to make a drone show, how the drone show is made, and then actually performing the drone show.
Okay. So that's become a replacement. We'll talk about this in a moment, but that's become a replacement for many communities, fireworks shows.
Yep.
Okay.
Or working with. We do both.
Doing in conjunction.
Correct.
So the Roman candles, you fire them at the drones? No. All right. We'll be right back with more in just a moment on WSJM.
Skies today. We'll see off and on some light snow showers here and there with afternoon highs around 30. Tonight down to 22 with cloudy skies. And then as we head into Wednesday, we start out cloudy, but we actually see snow showers roll in through the day. We'll see some pretty decent snow totals as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday, slowing down traffic. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
It's 7:15. It's 21 degrees in Benton Harbor right now, 23 in St. Joseph, 22 in South Haven. And I'm looking at the feels like, we do have some feels like that are off a little bit. South Haven, it feels like 14. But it feels like 23 in St. Joseph, where it is 23 degrees. Same in Benton Harbor, 21 and 21. Okay, it's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got a couple of fun guests in this morning. Matt Quinn, who is the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company, and Haley Carpenter, Director of Starlight Operations. And one of the reasons we reached out to you is because drones have been in the news a lot lately. And we have written many stories, or at least a couple of stories, about the Great Lakes Drone Company and some of the national recognition that you've received. So we thought, let's get them in. We'll talk about what the drone company is, what you do, and everything that you do, from emergency operations to agricultural applications to entertainment and more. And so we'll talk about that, and then maybe you'll let me slip in a question about what's going on with the drones over on the eastern seaboard, if we can figure that out. But first, let's start by just letting you introduce yourself. Maybe just give us your name, your background, where you're from, your origin story. We'll start with you, Matt, and then we'll go over to you, Haley.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Watervliet and currently live in Coloma. Great Lakes Drone Company is actually located in Coloma. We actually have 2 buildings there. One building is our corporate office. The other building is our classroom education facility.
Okay.
With that, obviously, Great Lakes Drone Company, we have a few brands.
Yeah.
So we have Farmbotics Air, which is our agricultural division.
Farmbotics Air.
Farmbotics Air.
That. Okay.
And then we have Great Lakes Rescue, which is our public safety division. And then we have Starlight Aerial Productions, which is our entertainment division.
Okay.
And then Great Lakes Drone Company, we still do like the inspection stuff and everything else. In fact, we have one person that doing 44 sites.
Yep.
Yeah, 44 sites of commercial inspections of the property and the roof, and whether or not the roofs are leaking anything, because a lot of people don't realize we can actually see where you're leaking heat and everything and stuff out of the roof.
Wow.
But we started all this in 2016, and we've been growing and growing and growing ever since. Last year we did just over 300 drone shows throughout the United States. We did like 5 in Hawaii.
Wow.
So it's been growing rapidly, and it's even getting bigger. And
how many people you have working for you?
Well, we just looked at that the other day. 47.
Yep.
47 people working for you, and you're doing shows all around the United States, outside of the United States?
Yeah, we've done work outside of the United States. You look at just the most recent Detroit Lions show. We did that over in Windsor. So
okay. Wow, that's a lot of fun. So how did you get into drones in general?
I come more from a public safety background.
Okay.
And it was more of like a side hustle type thing that turned into what it is now.
Wow. When did you fly your first drone, would you say?
Oh, it was probably 2014, 2015.
Okay, so not that long ago.
Yeah. And then in 2016 it became legal to actually like commercialize it, and then you had the Part 107 with the FAA that came out, and it just kind of rapidly went from there.
Yeah, I want to dive into some of the things you just talked about, from the education to the requirements for flying drones and some of the rules and regulations around that. But first, let's bring Haley into the conversation. Haley Carpenter is the Director of Starlight Operations. So you get to do all the fun stuff.
I get to do it all, actually.
Okay.
I have my hands in about all the parts of the company. I get to do a bunch of it. So
yeah, give us your origin story, where you're from.
So I'm originally from Delton, Michigan, and have recently moved to South Haven to work here at Great Lakes Drone Company. I've been here for 3 years now. But I've had my hands in a little bit of everything. I have a little bit of the rescue side in me, but I've been focusing more on the Starlight aerial side. So I've been doing lots of shows.
Okay. What's your background, and do you fly the drones?
I do fly the drones.
Okay. How does that go?
Oh, so there's different ways to fly it. So a lot of people know it based on controller, but when it comes to our shows, it's actually based on a computer. So it's actually just one person flying 500 plus drones.
That's incredible.
At one time. So
that's incredible. So how did you learn how to do these things?
So the way I got into the company, I was actually in school for computer animation, and they ended up using that part of my skill set to actually design the drone shows here at Great Lakes. So I got to bring 2 of my hobbies together when it comes to things. So film and animation, and then flying drones, which has been a hobby since I've been younger. So
That is incredible. So maybe we walk through both Matt and Haley. What is it? Tell us a little bit more. You've got the 3 different main divisions. Where do you want to start on the services you provide? Because I imagine the drones are outfitted very different, whether you're helping with cinematography or doing emergency rescue or doing a light show. Where do you want to start?
Well, I mean, when you look at drones and everything, even from a hobbyist standpoint, you said that you had 2.
Yes.
You buy drones meant to do a specific job.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, it's still somewhat like, the military or commercial aviation. There are some drones that are like multi-role type thing, but for the most part, all of our drones are very, very mission oriented or mission specific of what we're going to utilize. Whether or not we're doing a search and rescue for a missing child, or whether or not we're flying a drone light show, or whether or not we're carrying 40 pounds of chemical over a cornfield. So.
Yeah. So how does walk us through how, let's start with the missing child scenario. Where do you begin? You receive a call. Hey, we've got a missing child. Can you help out with this search?
Yeah. So on the Great Lakes rescue side, there's actually quite a bit that we do on the rescue side, but we're tied into all the 911 centers, and we are, in some areas we're primary, and some areas we're backup. So we cover in Berrien, Van Buren, Kalamazoo County, Berry County, and St. Joe County, as well as Calhoun and some of Allegan. So we have trucks and equipment and staff located throughout that entire coverage area. And then, like I said, some areas were primary. As soon as law enforcement or the fire service needs a drone, we're automatically called. Some areas and some departments have their own, like Berrien County has a great drone program through their sheriff's department, but occasionally they're busy, occasionally they need more, and we step in and help them out. So through the 911 center, between our phones and our pagers and everything, we get the alert, we go en route, we get on scene. At that point in time, a lot of it's just related to, okay, let's get the backstory. Where was the child last seen? What was the last direction? Working the drones with K9 teams is probably one of the best things to do, because a lot of times, just getting the direction of which way the dog is first going, so that we have a direction of which way did the child go, or which way did the suspect go, or which way did grandma walk away from.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people don't know that.
Yeah.
So then we just start our grid patterns from there, and until we hopefully find them.
How many drones do you typically deploy for a scenario like that?
Typically, when we're called, it's our protocol that we have 2.
Okay.
So we have one that we're, and a lot of people don't know this. We're one of the few companies that have AI technology. And with that AI technology, we can actually fly, and that AI will actually pick up and identify targets while we're flying. In fact, during the flooding in North Carolina and Tennessee, some of the FEMA teams that were working down there, and there's a DGI article about it. They were sending all of their feeds and all of their videos and pictures and stuff to it, and we were running it through our AI here while they were working down there.
Wow.
So even though we weren't physically there, we were still assisting from here, from our offices. And I don't know, we did it for a week straight?
Yeah, at least a week.
And we were rotating staff through it, helping them and everything and stuff like that. Just because with the way the water worked and everything else and stuff like that, trying to identify, we found a car that was buried in the river runoff and everything and stuff that they didn't even see when they walked by it. And they were able to dig that up and check it out and everything and stuff. So there's a lot of different things like that that were involved. So
essentially what's happening in that situation, the drone, someone's piloting the drone down in North Carolina, doing a grid pattern on an area, their feed is coming back to you. And because of the way the AI was trained, they were able to find that car.
Right.
Wow. And the same is true for people.
Correct. So it uses basically like color pixel technology. So what it does is the AI is looking for colors that don't match the surroundings that is around, down to the very, very pixel level.
See, that's not good because that's what you look for when you're a hunter, something that stands out.
Yeah.
Not giving away any secrets here, but no, wow, that's incredible. When was that technology deployed?
We first started, technically we're still considered alpha testing
Yes,
it,
yep.
right?
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not even beta
Not
testing.
even beta. Wow.
We started testing that in 2022, and it was basically post-production stuff. So post video, post photos, and in 2023 we moved to live.
Yep.
And then in 2024 we moved not only from like a live feed and live photos and everything, we moved to now we actually have the AI technology on the controller of the drone as of last week.
Yep.
Yeah, as of last week.
As of last week. So this is fast changing technology.
Yes.
Wow, that's incredible. How many drones are outfitted like that?
Currently we have 8.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we have 8 total.
Okay. And you can send them you can use that anywhere. Do you send those nationally?
Yeah, we are part of the state, what we call the mutual aid box alarm system. We are part of the state MAVIS system, and we are on call with a couple other drone teams within the state to deploy with like Michigan Task Force 1 and the different FEMA resources.
Yeah.
But typically most communities throughout the U.S. actually have decent public safety programs now with UAS. So it's usually like this other type of technology that we have and stuff that usually ends up getting asked for or deployed to certain areas.
We're talking with Matt Quinn. He's the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company. We're also talking with Haley Carpenter, the director of Starlight Operations. And so far, we've kind of gained just a glimpse of what you do, and it's a lot. There are a lot of different. How many drones do you have overall?
Overall, between the public safety drones and the drone light show drones and the ag drones and stuff, we're at what, 800?
Yeah, I was gonna say
815 right now.
800. That's a lot when you change out the batteries, isn't it?
Well, Haley's in charge of our maintenance program. So,
They put you in charge of that.
Yep.
Wow, 800 some odd drones. That's incredible. Well, I want to hear about some of the stories about drones and the maintenance procedures alone. I bet you've got stories on that. But let's bring Haley into the conversation about so you got into drones because of
Basically because I was originally trying to get into film.
Yeah.
So then it kind of escalated from there. So
film in the way of using drones
Yeah.
to do filming, because we see a lot of that
Yes,
today.
Yep.
And you may not even know it if the drone operator is doing it well. You don't know that it's the drone
Correct.
doing the filming.
Correct. Yep.
That's so cool. And so, do you do some of that still today?
I do a little bit of that. Not as much as I used to.
Okay.
At the time, it was brand new when I started learning that part of it. But now it's used all the time, and I changed it from doing film to actually designing drone shows from there.
So what does it take to design a drone show? What does that look like?
Any animated movie that you know, it's the same exact process basically. So
I have no idea.
So it's basically pixel art is what it is. So
Okay.
I'm creating a pixel image in 3D to make sure that all of our safety procedures are correct to make a shape in the sky, anything you can think of.
Wow. So what my mind immediately went to is, if you've ever seen the Wall Street Journal pictures of people there, or any newsprint, basically, they just turn that information into a series of dots.
Yep.
And so the dots and the brightness and everything else, that is basically what your drones become?
Correct. Yep.
Wow. How long does it take to program a show?
It varies based on size.
Okay.
It can take anywhere from 2 days to a month.
Wow.
So
Okay. And so how does that go? Let's say a community decides, all right, we want to start incorporating Starlight into our Independence Day celebration. What do they do?
So they contact us. We start trying to get the initial plan of where we're going to perform the show, where your audience is going to be, where we're going to take off, all the logistics sides of that. And then we get into the creative side of it and begin to figure out what our audience is looking for and what the community is trying to put out to our audience. And once that creative side is started, then I begin actually creating our show.
Yeah.
And then within a couple months, we'll have a show for everybody to see.
Are there any similarities, any parallels to like a fireworks show?
Very much so.
Yeah?
Yes.
How
Yep.
so?
Basically, our planning process is basically the same way as it would be for fireworks. Our safety is huge, and it's the same way with fireworks. So
Yeah.
it's basically the same system.
Yeah, because fireworks been around for a couple of years, but and so they've got the showdown of okay, we're going to build up, we're going to do this, we're going to have these things over here. Drones, same thing.
Yep.
Big finales.
Big finales. Yep. It goes through that whole storyboard process. We love to tell our stories from start to end, and so you always have that big finale ending.
And then we added the headache late
Oh, yes.
2024 of there's only 4 companies in the U.S. right now that have a pyrotechnic approval by the FAA. So we did our first show in September of 2024, in which we actually shot pyro off of our drones in the air.
Shooting pyrotechnics off the drones. Wow. Yep. And there's only 4 companies in the United States that can do that, that are allowed to do that. What does that look like?
Really cool.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just imagining small bazookas on top of these drones. How big are the drones that we're talking about that can shoot a pyrotechnic?
So on our drone light show drones, they're only about a foot by a foot.
Okay.
I mean, they're not that big. Right now we're doing different like waterfall effects and like 30 millimeter comets and stuff like that. Wow. I think the most entertaining part was when we were doing all the testing to see like what we could shoot and not shoot.
I bet that was fun. It was Friday night. You had a 6-pack. Yep. No, just kidding.
So, because we do a lot of our testing out at the airport, and we do a lot of stuff like during the day, and a lot of people don't realize this, but like when we do some of the show testing, a lot of times we do it at like 3, 4 in the morning.
Okay.
2, 3 in the morning. Yep. Because like let's say that we're doing something for, the Red Wings, or let's say that we're doing something for, some national brand or whatever and stuff. Yeah. And we're trying to like just perfect the look. Well, we don't want to showing up all over social media,
True.
but we still have to like test it and do a few things and stuff. So a lot of times we'll like wait, but then again, there's a lot of times that we do testing that we invite the community out to the airport, and we'll continue doing that as long as everybody follows our safety rules while we're out there. So
what are the primary safety rules that you want people to follow?
So if you come out to the airport while we're testing, and we'll put it on our Facebook page and everything and stuff, we typically put up a map and say, okay, look, you need to stay over here. Don't come over here, stay over there. And as long as people do that, that's fine. Because basically what we do is we do the math, and that if a drone blows a motor and has an issue and everything and stuff, we pretty much know where it's going to fall or where it's going to land.
Yeah.
And the last thing that we want to do is, have anybody, get hit by a drone.
Makes sense.
We've been doing this long enough and everything and stuff, that we've seen just about every failure that can happen. Intel was the first company to do drone light shows. We were number 2.
Okay.
Intel doesn't do drone shows anymore. So we're the longest running drone light show company in the United States right now. And, we've seen a lot.
Yeah.
So, we're very particular on our safety aspects. The new drones that we're utilizing have new safety features that no other drone light show company has. So it makes it even safer. But we do everything that we can to, and the last thing that we want to do is like, start having like security out at the airport when we're testing and everything and stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay. We're having a fascinating conversation with Matt Quinn and Haley Carpenter. Matt is the owner of the Great Lakes Drone Company. Haley is the director of Starlight Operations. We will continue this conversation in a couple of minutes. We've got to get some ads in. We'll talk with Bloomberg for the financial update, get the latest news from ABC. We'll also continue this conversation on our video live stream. We're not going to give you a chance to breathe, so stand by. We'll have more in just a moment right here on WSJM.
So, you want a free check?
Yeah, color me fascinated. This is amazing. This is really cool. So Intel was the first company to do light shows with drones?
Yeah, they were the first one that was approved in the United States.
No kidding.
Yeah, they were approved in November of 2016, and we were approved in March of 2017.
Why was Intel doing this? I think of computer chips when I think of Intel.
Well, and that was basically it. It was they were utilizing it as like a promo type, and like the only thing that they did was like big shows. I mean, and they were just trying to push the technology. There for a while, they had a lot of world records of like how many drones that were controlled simultaneously.
Yeah.
Now pretty much any of the records that Intel had are well gone.
Yeah.
Between the different Chinese and Korean and US competitors and everything.
I have a question on that. And sorry to interrupt, but I see on social media, and I've been dying to ask you this question. I see on social media every now and again, somebody puts up a post, here's China's drone show, and it looks like infinity number of drones. Is that real?
Some of them are.
Okay.
Some of them are AI generated. But some of the shows are real. There's a company that I think, what were they at? Were they at 9,000?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
There's no number.
9,000 drones in the air at the same time?
Yep.
Just controlled perhaps off of one computer?
Possibly. It was more than likely controlled off one computer, but it was multiple servers that were running.
Okay.
So
because of the power it takes to make sure all the instructions are getting out.
Yeah, well, it's basically, what a lot of people don't realize is basically, the drone shows where we're controlling hundreds of drones simultaneously and everything and stuff. All the drones are basically IP addresses to the computer.
Okay.
And that's how we communicate with them. And then we have multiple servers depending on how many drones that we're running, so that we can push that information back and forth.
Yeah. Wow. That's so cool. I'm sorry. I'm just fascinated. And Haley, I mean, so when you're putting these shows together, how do you assign the numbers? How do you keep them straight? The IPs?
Actually, the computer does that all for us. We have a management system on it. Basically, we know each number of the drone, so they're all labeled. Basically, it's a barcode.
Okay.
It gives you the information for each one of those drones. They are all numbered, but the computer takes care of all those IP addresses for us when it starts up.
And somebody has to, I assume, lay those drones out in a something, or do you just let them fly and then the computer lands them for you to set them up, or what?
Not to that point yet.
Okay.
We're in a grid formation right now, so it could be a 5x10, it could be a 20x10. It's based on the size of the show, but everybody in our team all knows from beginning to end of how that is done, and it's a pretty quick system, I would say. Takes us a couple hours, but it's faster than it has been in the past.
Just tell the computer to do it. Just start
Gosh,
throw the drones out.
well, the technology is there for it now.
Yeah.
We haven't started testing because there's a new firmware upgrade that once it gets warmer, we're going to start testing, where basically the computer will plan everything out for you and you just set the drones out and do it.
Yeah.
We're a little cautious of that.
That's smart.
Yeah. So we haven't moved to that yet, but the technology is there for that now. So.
Yeah. So when everything works the way it should, it's perfect. When it doesn't, that's another issue itself. So maybe we can ask you a question about that in just a moment. But we're listening to the Bloomberg Market Minute. We'll wrap that up. Then we'll get back and talk about news in just a moment, our weather forecast and more. We're visiting with Matt Quinn, the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company, and Haley Carpenter, director of Starlight Operations. Still can't believe you got over 800 drones to take care of. I had 3, then one of them went away. Just flew off and just kept going. So you ever have that happen? Flyaways?
Back when we first started.
Okay.
We haven't had a flyaway since probably 2018.
Okay. That's about when I did mine too. It was a strong wind that day. All right. We'll be back with more in just a moment here on WSJM.
Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. We've got news here in just a moment from ABC and our local newsroom and the Michigan News Network and our local sports with Dave Wolf. 21 degrees and cloudy skies out in Benton Harbor right now. St. Joseph, 23 and cloudy. South Haven is 22 degrees. Dowagiac, 21. New Buffalo, it's 24 degrees. In Buchanan right now, and Niles, both. It's 21 degrees there. We've got a weather forecast for today. We do have a winter weather advisory. A winter storm watch will be in effect for Berrien and Cass counties tomorrow from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon until 7 a.m. on Thursday. And what they're expecting with that is an 80% chance of snow in the afternoon, mixing potentially with some freezing rain at times, especially in the south part of the county and the northern parts of Indiana. So the high will be around 27 degrees, east winds about 10 to 15 miles per hour. But again, snow starting possibly around 1 o'clock. And they're saying it could be as severe as maybe an inch of snow an hour. I don't know if you call that severe. I just call that winter, but we'll see. It's currently, again, we've got 21 degrees in Benton Harbor. We've got the latest ABC News right now. Then we'll have our local news next.
ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. A new front opening in a trade war as President Trump announced 25% tariffs on imports of steel and aluminum.
The American Iron and Steel Institute praising what they say is President Trump's continued commitment to a strong American steel industry. But experts are warning that these tariffs could drive up prices for American consumers.
That's ABC's Mary Bruce. The president in the Oval Office Monday also said Israel should end the ceasefire with Hamas if Hamas does not release all hostages by the weekend. He signed an executive order ordering the release of more documents related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The FBI now says it's discovered 2,400 additional documents that had been previously unrecognized related to the Kennedy assassination. The Justice Department's ordered federal prosecutors in New York to drop their corruption charges against New York City Mayor Eric Adams, saying it would hamper him from helping in immigration crackdowns. This is ABC News.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
And the WSJM Morning Show continues. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. 21 degrees in New Buffalo right now. It's 24. And we also have 21 degrees in Niles and Buchanan. All right, some of the news that we're covering coming up at 8 o'clock this morning. A West Michigan man has been charged in the death of his mother. 23-year-old Craig Mills faces a charge of open murder. Deputies say his mother, 43-year-old Mabel Mills, was found dead in September of last year in her home near Lee Township. That's west of Midland. Mills was arrested not long after, unrelated to the alleged murder, after he was involved in a crash and resisted officers. He's currently housed at the Berrien County Jail facing that murder charge. The village of Stevensville is inviting people to give their ideas for the future of the downtown area. The reinstatement of the Downtown Development Authority bringing this about. Community leaders are gathering this afternoon to gather input on how residents would like to see their community grow. So we'll tell you more about that coming up at 8 o'clock. And then just in time for Valentine's Day, the Berrien County Health Department is out there reminding people about the importance of safe sexual health practices. We'll tell you about that and some of the concerning numbers about sexually transmitted diseases. So that and more coming up at 8 o'clock right here on the WSJM Morning Show. It's 7:43. We are continuing our conversation about drones. We're talking with Matt Quinn and Haley Carpenter. Matt is the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company. We'll continue that conversation on our video live stream right now on WSJM. Just tune over to Facebook and YouTube if you want to catch that.
The Michigan News Network.
I'm Beth Fisher.
Okay, continuing our discussion. We were talking about drones, and I was mentioning my flyaway. My flyaway, by the way, was pretty dumb. I had one of those little plastic drones, no camera, no nothing, just basically zzz, zzz, zzz.
The Walmart special.
Yeah, the Walmart special, exactly. You can buy it. It's one of those impulse buys or whatever. And it was just a lightly windy day. I went as high as a tree, and then it just kept going up and up and up. It was the prettiest thing you ever saw until you couldn't see it anymore, and I never saw it again. So now I've got a DJI a Mavic Pro 2. Mm-hmm. I really enjoy it. It's just a lot of fun. It's got the camera and stuff on it. One of my boys has a DJI, and he took it to Hawaii. He flew it around there. He took it to, he's in New York right now. He's been flying it around there. He flies it around here. But there are rules and regulations. And in fact, we've got a person online who's into RC cars, Bill. He's been asking, how does one get a drone license? And what are the different licensing and registration requirements for people in that category?
Okay, so to fly a drone, whether or not there's two ways. So if you fly a drone and want to make money flying a drone, you have to get what's called a Part 107. If you just want to fly a drone for fun, you have to get what's called a trust card. Okay, So anything that's over 0.55 pounds has to be registered with the FAA. It's like $5. So you go online, you go to the FAA, go to Drone Zone, and you register it. Okay,
Yeah.
that's number one. Doesn't matter whether or not you're commercial or recreation. It's got to be registered.
Anything over half a
Yep.
pound, basically.
Yep, it's got to be registered. Then, if you're going to fly recreationally, you can Google it. It's the FAA Trust, TRUST, Trust certificate. And it's a free course. You take the course, you take the test, and then you have that certificate. So if you're flying a drone, you either have to have that trust certificate, or you have to have a Part 107 from the FAA, which allows you to make money flying a drone. There's lots of online programs for both. Trust is free. Part 107, I think the going rate's like around $150 to take the online class. But after you take that online class for the Part 107, then you actually have to register with basically what's called IARCA, which is the Airman Registry with FAA, and schedule your test. The closest place to take your FAA exam around here is at Andrews University Air Park. They have a testing site there for the FAA. You go and take your test, and once you pass, then you go through a TSA background check. And then once that all clears, then you get your Part 107 certificate, and then you renew that every 2 years with the FAA. That's how you legally fly. The reason that they want to make sure that you go through all of this training is so that what happened over in California with the firefighting airplane getting hit by a drone.
Oh, that happened.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Recently. Actually, they just came out with the charges, didn't they?
Yes, they did. Yep.
Yeah. And then there's someone in Philadelphia and everything. I can tell you right now, when it comes to drone related incidents and civil and federal criminal charges, the FAA has always been pushing education, learn when to fly, learn when not to fly, check the drone zone, check the airspace, check for TFRs and everything. TFRs are temporary flight restrictions.
Okay.
So it basically says that, nobody can fly. And that's the same thing for planes, recreational planes, manned aircraft, unmanned aircraft. There's a 911 call going off.
Nope.
So sorry, our phones are going to beep.
No, that's all right.
And then further with that and everything is knowing those rules. But now 107 went into effect and all the drone rules went into effect in 2016. So now we're 9 years in. Now the FAA is coming after people. I think like the lowest fine I've seen so far is like a civil fine is like $25,000, $30,000.
Wow.
Yeah, they're not playing.
Like $25,000, $30,000.
Yeah.
And that makes sense because, like you pointed out, there was a drone incident. Was it a recreational drone that hit one of the firefighting things?
Yep.
That's okay. You gotta. Do you have to
no
look at anything or go anywhere?
No, we
Okay.
have people on duty right now. So.
Okay. You're just making sure that they're paying attention.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that. But I mean, was it a recreational drone that
Yeah, it was a recreational drone. So it was I read the story. He was flying trying to get a better view of the fire or whatever and stuff like that. He was a Part 107 pilot. He flew it further than you can see it, which is illegal.
You're not supposed to do that.
And lost sight of the aircraft that were fighting the fire. And one of the Canadian super scoopers ended up striking it. And the airplane didn't even realize that they hit anything. When they landed to refuel and everything, they found a hole in their wing and they found the drone in the wing of the plane.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I know he was ordered to pay, it was like $72,000 in repair costs for the plane.
That's cheap. Got off easy.
And take
out a mortgage on that.
Fines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and it's serious. I mean, because things can go poorly in a very quick
I
way.
mean, you just look at aviation in general lately. And I think a lot of people, aviation incidents happen all the time. Some more severe than others.
Yeah.
We look at what just happened in Washington and then Philadelphia, and then just last night there's a plane that skidded off a runway and slid into a parked plane in Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And then the Alaska incident, and in the same aspect, over Christmas break there was a couple of drone shows that had a couple incidents. one where a kid got hurt in Orlando. And these things happen quite a bit, sometimes serious, sometimes not so serious. But with social media and the ability for everybody to see everything, know everything in real time, that's kind of what caused the whole New Jersey aspect. Is that everybody's hearing about stuff all the time.
Let's tell that story in just a moment right here on the WSJM Morning Show. We'll be right back.
Afternoon highs around 30. Tonight down to 22 with cloudy skies. And then as we head into Wednesday, we start out cloudy, but we actually see snow showers roll in through the day. We'll see some pretty decent snow totals as we head into Wednesday night and Thursday, slowing down traffic. I'm WSBT 22 Chief Meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
WSJM Morning Show, learning stuff off the air here as we speak, as we're getting ready to come back to you're going to the Kentucky Derby?
Well, it's the Kentucky Derby Festival.
Okay.
So we do the Thunder over Louisville, the nation's largest fireworks show. We do a drone show as part of all of that. We've done it for year 5.
Yeah, I think it's 5.
Haley, you have the best job ever. Anytime there's a party, a celebration on a national scale.
We try to go to.
No. So this girl takes her job so seriously.
Oh boy.
So we talked about our safety. Right?
Yes.
So we always have this perimeter. This is our area. Do not enter our area. Stay out of our area and everything and stuff.
Yeah.
So I get this phone call from her and her partner in crime that were doing the show down there. All upset that the local security allowed somebody into their special area. And
which wasn't easy to get into.
Right.
It's completely fenced off.
And
It was
everything
all
and stuff
good.
like that. And so they chased him off.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah, I
chased him,
ran.
gangster
Like Haley
style.
chased him out?
Haley ran.
Yeah, Haley ran, and her partner ran, and it was close to tackle running type thing.
Wow.
And so they called me all upset about this and everything. So I called the festival organizers, and I'm like, look, this stuff can't happen. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it was what, 20 minutes later, I get a phone call back. So I get a phone call back, and they're like, well, they let that person into that area, and they screwed up. They didn't tell them. But we let that person into that area because, we were allowing special privileges for them and everything and stuff. And so they explained to me, who it was and what was going on and everything and stuff. And I'll admit, it was one of those entertaining moments where I got to call him back, and I'm like, you guys realize that you just chased Jack Harlow out of the...
You did not.
Yeah.
Jack
did.
Harlow, the musician?
Sure did.
Yep.
Wow.
Would have had no clue who it was at that time.
Yeah, they
because
were
he was...
this close. They told me they were this close to tackling him and everything and stuff. And he jumped the fence.
Did he really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's fast.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Not
Yep.
just with the lyrics.
So
Nope.
I'm looking through his social media trying to see whether or not he filmed him chasing him and everything.
Did you make good with him? Did you?
I didn't get to see him afterwards, but hopefully we're all good now. So.
Well, if he's in the listening area, I'm sure he's listening to the show right now. We're talking with Matt Quinn and Haley Carpenter. Matt's the owner of Great Lakes Drone Company. Haley is the director of Starlight Operations. And let's make this part of our Moody on the Market update. Where's my script? I had it here a second. There it is. See, that's why I need a flight checklist. The Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today, your local auto owner's insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. And what we do with the Moody on the Market update, we bring you life in Southwest Michigan and why we love it here, business updates, and then we also bring you interesting people you should know. And I think we've brought all three of those things in today. So thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. We have a couple more questions. One, you have an announcement to make in a moment, so we'll get to that. But first off, anyone who's been listening any length of time to the WSJM Morning Show knows I've been fascinated with these drone sightings in New Jersey. And you were just about to explain what in the world has been going on with this. What do you think's happening? What is happening? And have you been called in to see what's happening?
We were not called in. We were called to consult. We've consulted on quite a few things. As I was leading into it, we went to commercial and everything and stuff. I was talking about social media.
Yes.
Social media is not only a great thing, but it's also a mob mentality aspect of things.
Yes.
And unfortunately, here's the thing, it's if I take a video and show something in the sky and everything and stuff like that and share it on social media, it gets a lot of likes and everything. What does the next person do? The next person looks up and they look into the sky. And I'd probably say 99% of society does not look up into the sky on a regular basis. So now you have all these people who don't ever look up, suddenly looking up and going, "Oh my God, there's all these lights. There's these drones, there's these planes, there's these Starlink things."
Yeah.
Do you know how many times just in Southwest Michigan area that we see, people posting about what are all these lights, and it's Starlink and everything and stuff.
Yeah.
I heard the cops get dispatched last night, I think it was, for something flying around in the sky and everything and stuff. And this stuff happens all the time. The difference is that social media just blew it up and everything. And, everybody freaks out about it. Now, am I saying that there was not some testing of some larger drones going on? No, I'm not. There was some testing of some larger drone systems. They were commercially operated. That stuff happens all the time.
Yeah.
There's actually different large drone test areas just here in Michigan that we utilize, and several other companies utilize to test larger drones.
Now, when you say larger drone, what size are you talking about?
A lot of people don't realize this, but they can fly Black Hawks. Black Hawk helicopters are flown unmanned now.
Wow.
So that's where the technology is.
So drones the size of your military helicopters.
Correct.
And probably they could be larger if you wanted them to, but why?
Oh,
right?
yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of testing going on with larger aircraft and smaller aircraft and personal sized aircraft. So
makes sense. So the bottom line is maybe it was testing, but probably a lot of public hysteria.
Well, right now, I mean, everybody's making a big deal about this new Iranian drone ship. And
what tell us about that.
So
we've heard rumors about such.
Yeah. So, the Iranians actually did like a public release or whatever and stuff. Basically, all it is they converted a cargo ship into basically a runway platform for drones.
Oh.
And then and Iran's known for their drones that are being used by Russia and Ukraine and everything.
Right.
We've done some on the surface level. We've done a lot of consulting with FPV drones and the Ukrainian military and everything and stuff since that started.
Okay.
But with that aspect, everybody, was making a big deal that, these ships are parked off the US and they're flying over us. And that was like the big rumor that was going on around with like New Jersey and everything and stuff like that. And, as much as I'd love to say technology is great in identifying drones and different things and stuff like that, and airspace and stuff like that, it's not perfect yet. I have there's special technology that's available in like public safety and everything. I actually have an app on my phone, and as of last year before, remote ID went into effect for drones. So all the drones to legally fly in the US have to be running a broadcast. I actually have an app on my phone that allows me to see that broadcast and not only tell you where the drone is, but where the pilot is operating that drone. And I can do that right from my phone.
Yeah. We're running out of time here. Let's I want to make sure that we talk about the shows that are coming up for St. Patrick's Day. Tell us.
Correct. So we have two shows coming up. We're doing a drone light show for the Irish Festival in Clare, Michigan. And then we're bringing back the drone light show for the St. Patrick's Day parade right after the parade in downtown Coloma on February 15th. So February 14th in Clare, Michigan, February 15th in Coloma.
You mean March or February?
March.
March.
See, I'm already off.
This
on my
weekend
dates.
would be cool.
Yeah, but
Haley's probably going to get mad at you.
Yeah, we'd also want to make hearts this weekend and probably not leprechauns.
Yeah, that's all right. So March 14th and 15th in Clare, and then in Coloma. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. We appreciate it. For people who want more information about Great Lakes Drone, where do they go?
GreatLakesDroneCompany.com, and then that will link to all of our other divisions.
That's amazing. We didn't even talk about the agriculture, so we'll have to have you back and talk more about that when it's planting season or something like that. All right. Well, thank you, Matt Quinn, owner of Great Lakes Drone Company, and Haley Carpenter, director of Starlight Operations. Thank you both for coming into the studio today. We appreciate you.
No problem.
We can talk about more about drones if you want to. We've got some more time here, but no, whether or not you want to see my drone skills. I thought about bringing my drone in today. Good morning. It's 8:00. We've got ABC News Now, local news next.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. President Trump.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming in today. This has been incredibly enlightening, and I appreciate you coming in and talking about all the great things that you're doing. Thank you for doing what you do, especially when it comes to emergency response and helping out with that. Anything else that we missed right off the bat? I mean, I know there's a lot we still haven't talked about.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, the biggest thing is we reminded a bunch of news agencies when we did the last Lions drone show and everything and stuff, is just we encourage everybody to fly drones and to get into aviation, especially younger. We do a lot of STEM programs and different things like that. We encourage getting involved, but learn the rules, fly by the rules, and that's what makes it safe for everybody else that's in the industry. So.
Makes sense. Okay. Well, thank you again. We appreciate you coming in, and I enjoyed it.
Good.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for joining us on the video live stream.